if you are new to life, like me, you may as well not know what you are doing because we don't. Hebrews 12, verse 11 is very important for us as young men. In today's age, we don't really have self control. We'll have a few spare minutes and scroll. We'll see a pretty girl, can't help but look. And unfortunately, the word bad has been used instead of uh, beautiful or righteous, which is pretty sad, but it's what it is. So, Hebrews 12:11. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. You aren't perfect. I'm just going to say it. We're living in an age where we're young and we're stupid. But if you're thinking about like time wise and history and stuff like that, there's just a lot of easy addiction. There's a lot of very difficult self control. So that's why there's so much capitalization and need for people to go, here's how you develop good habits, here's how you have a strong mindset. All this wasn't a thing like a couple hundred years ago. This is fairly new. So us needing to be strong of mind is very, very important. But the idea of discipline and knowing that you are still in line with what God has for you has always been in the Bible, has always been a very biblical thing to follow. So, if you want to have discipline and you want to remove any kind of, I guess, struggles you have with the world today, then this video is for you. So, if you want to follow God, that means dying to self, right? The Bible talks about taking up your cross and following Jesus, but for you, that might be something that is a bit off-putting. It's like, oh, but I want to play video games. I don't want to be only have sex after marriage. That doesn't sound so good. I mean, if you're listening to this, you're probably a very, a very pure sort of audience because that's who I am. But if I was to just leave this kind of lifestyle and going to church and staying in the Bible, then the desires that everybody else has is not very good in my eyes, or just morally sound. So temptation is just a really hard one, especially in that realm of being attracted to people physically. There are times when there'll be someone you're interested in, or they're interested in you. But the Bible talks about discipline not being pleasant at the time. Maybe there's a woman or there's a man, and of course they're your age. Maybe they aren't, but maybe they're. Let's just say they're your age. Let's just say that. Just stay disciplined. just like verse 12 after Hebrews 11 says, "Therefore strengthen your feeble arms and weak knees." Verse 13, "Make level paths for your feet, so that the lame may not be disabled, but rather healed." Verse 14, "Make every effort to live in peace with everyone and to be holy. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord." Is it your goal to be holy, or is it your goal to get married because of what you can do afterwards? Like, if you're listening to this, you might be younger and you might think this kind of subject isn't one that should apply to you, but you'll soon find out that, I mean, maybe you just need to listen to other stuff at the moment. Life is just very much so involved in this. People use porn, they use all sorts of things as an outlet for urges and all this kind of stuff. And it has become a very unhealthy, disgraceful method of a beautiful creation and design that God had constructed. God said, be fruitful and multiply, not look at people lustfully and rot your own mind. He didn't say that. And that's what we all do. So, I just want to let you know, you don't have to become something other people despise, but you really shouldn't be something that other people want just because they want that. I knew a guy once, and he was a bit on the bigger side. He wasn't small, and he was having sex and things with his girlfriend and stuff like that. And he would tell me about sleep paralysis demons, or that he had had them, and all this kind of stuff. And it was very common, even in that college age, for people to talk about um, sex and being and having relationships with people. So it was fairly easy for me to stay out of that realm because I remained in the discipline of the Lord. If you really want like a practical how-to guide, just get in your Bible at a specific time, specific location, consistently. Let's say in bed, after I've made my bed, in the morning, for about 10 minutes, or read one chapter. Make it really obvious and get in your Bible. If you just want to really clear how do I get in the Bible so consistently, then there you go. Hebrews 12 verse 5 to 6 says, "And you have completely forgotten this word of encouragement that addresses you as a father addresses his son." It says, "My son, do not make light of the Lord's discipline, and do not lose heart when he rebukes you, because the Lord disciplines the one he loves, and he chastens everyone he accepts as his son." Discipline isn't supposed to be fun. Of course, there are times when you keep showing up and you keep showing yourself, you go running or you exercise or you read books, and then eventually you see the fruits of that and you begin to get in the rhythm of it, and it gets really fun. It's quite good. But discipline and getting things wrong is something we naturally deter from. So I really think we should just try to go the opposite direction and be okay with getting things wrong when it comes to like strengthening ourselves in God. Now, maybe you are more of a Christian person and you've been dedicated to God. Maybe you have some kind of secret interest in some kind of freaky content, but you don't admit it. Maybe that's you. Maybe you've already come out of that. Maybe you never had it, which is very rare, actually. That's very rare. So, if that's you, I would highly suggest don't even deviate towards that kind of environment where people may be talking about that kind of thing or joking about it. Very rarely should you see yourself in that kind of environment. And often that discipline means because your environment might often be people, and the only people that you have around are the people that talk about that kind of stuff, or they just aren't biblically sound, as in they don't want to follow the gospel in the way God teaches, then you have to be disciplined and kind of distance yourself in the way you feel God has called you to. You don't have to isolate and be lonely, but you shouldn't allow yourself to sit and marinate in a place where there's rotten food. Because Jesus sat with sinners, but we're not Jesus. It is much easier for us to try to adopt behaviors and habits to try fit in, to try be liked. Even if it's slight tone of speech, slouching, or whatever it is, even if it's slight words and thinking in a slightly different way, all these little things add up, and you become the type of person, ever so slightly, that you didn't want to be. And that doesn't come with fearing God. If you fear God, that just won't happen like that much. Sometimes it does for people. So I would suggest you just strengthen your feeble arms and weak knees and make level paths for your feet, and just stay strong in the discipline of the Lord. As young men, it's not easy, or as younger people, it's just not simple sometimes, because this addiction to devices is plague-like. It is a toxic gas we can't seem to escape. So just learn to breathe some fresh air every now and again, because if you can breathe it all the time, that'd be better. So if you enjoyed this episode, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. God bless.